All right. Hello, everybody. This is Patrick and Bryson with Stone Security. We're excited to jump into another webisode today. This one is particularly on the Milestone Smart Client Profile. First of all, Bryson's going to look at what a smart client profile is and how to create a smart client profile. Without further ado, go ahead, Bryson.
Awesome. Thanks, Patrick. Yeah, so we're going to jump right into the management client inside of Milestone right here. So this is where you're going to find your smart client profiles and you're going to be able to assign them to different roles. As well as change what the profile does. So a profile is similar to permissions. However, it's kind of how they see the smart client when they log into the system. So they're found right here under the client section right here. You'll see smart client profiles right here. If you can see my mouse there. Um, and if we just click on it right there, and depending on your license, depends on how many profiles you get. So if you are on professional plus and lower, you get one profile that you can use between all of your users. Expert gets about, I think it's 5 profiles, and corporate has unlimited smart client profiles that you can assign to different users. So in our demo here, we have 3 different profiles right here. We have the default smart client profile, we have a Monday training profile, and then a demo profile. And you can see here by clicking on each one of these, it'll tell me which role is using that profile currently. Right now, no one is using the demo profile, and on the Monday training, no one's using it. But on our default one, looks like everyone's using it. So this is kind of an easy way to see if your profile is in use, if it's being used at all, and what roles are using it. So the profile lets you change settings in the smart client. So if you go into the smart client and you go to the settings section, so just open up the smart client right here. So if I were to go here and go to settings, a lot of these settings you're going to see here back here in the management client are right here inside of the smart client themselves. If you've ever been in the smart client settings and you see this checkbox here that says follow server, that's where these are assigned, is right here through the smart client profile. So if this checkbox is here that says follow server right here, that means it's going to follow the setting that the server has set and configured right here. Some of these that are grayed out right here that do not allow me to change them, they're locked. You can see that right here. They have the checkbox indicating that they're locked on the profile, meaning that the end user cannot change that setting inside of their smart client. So a really easy way to help you kind of set up and configure their smart clients in bulk. Um, so you have options right here like show the current time in the title bar. You have an option to show that or hide that. You can go here. This is where you can add in a custom logo for your system here on blank tiles. So by default, it's set to the Milestone logo, but you can go in here and you can say a custom logo, nothing, or black image, and really kind of set that up. And then for your custom logo, you'll just import in any JPEG or PNG file that you want, and that'll then fill the space when you have blank tiles inside your smart client. So if you had any views that have extra spots on it, it'll show like right here, you can see that this is the Milestone logo on there. It'll show your custom logo there. So something that's really cool to be able to kind of customize your client, and not a lot of people know where to find that at. The camera error message ones, this one's really important to kind of know about as well. Right here, I'll just highlight this. A lot of times when you have a camera that goes out on certain screens, if you have it set to just show as an overlay, it will show the camera's last image with an overlay that shows that it is disconnected. If you have it set to hide, then the camera will just freeze at the last image it was. You'll have no indication other than that the streaming and recording icon will not be present. So really important though to make sure when you know you have cameras down, I like to keep it black image with overlay so you really know that that camera is out. But that's where you find that option right there. So you can see here you have all the options down here to limit what they can get to, what they have access to, if they have the logout button, maximize, full screen, like keyboard setup, being able to remember their password. If you want that to be available to them, you can turn that on and off, as well as auto login, things like that. There's really a lot you can dive into here, and I'm not going to get into too much of it, but just kind of showing where it's at and how to change those settings. You can also take away full tabs as well. So the system monitor tab is one that a lot of people don't like to have their end user see because it's not really necessary for them. So you can turn that off by going here and switching it to unavailable. Uh, you also have options here to take away snapshots, as well as the like help options if you wanted to remove those as well. You can really hide and limit anything that they can see inside of their smart client. And this is all just under the general section. So if you move over to advanced, I'm going to go ahead and not save that. Move over to the advanced. This is where you can set the advanced settings inside of the smart client. So if you wanted your users to have the diagnostics overlay on all of their clients, you can actually set the level right here on there so that it'll show up on their screen, similar to how you see on mine, how we have this diagnostics overlay here. If you wanted that for all of your users or a certain set of users to automatically always be on their profile, you could specify that here. Hardware acceleration is another good one to know about as well, to making sure that it's enabled and set to auto, or if you wanted it off for all. And then adaptive streaming is the big one too. That one right there, if you do not have this enabled in the profile, then your adaptive streaming settings, which allows you to specify different resolutions for your camera to stream at based off of the view size. If you don't have that enabled right there, it will not work. So those are the advanced sections. Then down here in live, you can specify what's available in the live tab inside the smart client, as well as what's available in the playback tab right here too. And then you have setup options right here as well, the ability to be able to make sure they can edit maps. So say you want them to be able to edit views, but you don't want them to change maps, you can actually come into here and make this unavailable. So map editing's not available, but they could still change their views. Which is really handy because we do have a lot of users that like them to be able to create their own views, but then they end up messing up a map. The export one is another really good one here to know about as well. If you want to be able to specify uh, what formats the users can export in, you can come into here and you can actually make it so that the media player option isn't available, or it's only MKV, not AVI, and you can lock that so that they don't use the AVI codec, which can be really helpful for your export sizes when you're exporting in media player format. So those are just some really handy features to be able to really help you customize how your end users are going to interact with the smart client. And there's more options down here as well, and I'm not going to dive into any of those. These are the main ones right here. But what I want to show next is how you assign these to a role. So if we jump down here to security and roles, just click right here. Again, I'm not going to save that. Um, and you can see here on, as I have a role selected right here on this first info page here, it gives me the option to select my smart client profile. And there's those three options right there. So after you create your profile, you'll just come over here to your roles, and then you can specify which profile they'll get. Your administrator is going to have some different options than the rest of the roles. Administrators don't have the lockout on time, whereas your other roles will. Where you can see here, I have my management client, my smart client profile, and then I have the time profile as well, so I can specify when they can actually log into the system right here as well. And then there's evidence lock profiles as well, which we're not going to get into as well. But this is where you can assign those smart client profiles. So that's smart clients in Milestone Management and the Milestone VMS system.
Awesome. If anyone has any questions on how to, kind of dive deeper, shoot our support team a note, support@stonesecurity.net, and they can guide you on that. If you have any other video requests, please let us know. Thank you again, Bryson. And if anyone has any
Yeah,
questions, again, always hit up support@stonesecurity.net. Thank you.
thank you.